What if I told you that the most powerful weapon in the modern world isn't a nuclear bomb? It's a piece of paper. A dollar bill. For over 80 years, it's been the invisible crown of global finance, the currency of oil, trade, and trust. But something strange is happening. For the first time in modern history, that crown is shaking. Countries are turning away from the dollar. Governments are quietly trading in other currencies. And somewhere, deep on the internet, a new kind of money, one that no government controls, is waiting for its chance. Welcome to the digital rebellion. Welcome to Bitcoin versus the dollar. Let's start with a simple truth. The US dollar isn't just money, it's control. When the world trades oil, food, or technology, it usually does it in dollars. That means every transaction, every shipment, every economy runs through America's financial veins. If the US wants to pressure a country, it doesn't need tanks. It can simply cut off access to the dollar system. Ask Iran. Ask Russia. Ask anyone who's been locked out of SWIFT, the global messaging network for banks. That's what makes the dollar so powerful. It's not just about paper. It's about trust and control. But what happens when trust fades and the control becomes a cage? Between 2022 and 2025, a quiet revolution has begun. China starts trading oil in yuan. India and Russia sign bilateral trade deals bypassing the dollar. Saudi Arabia hints that it might accept payments for oil in other currencies. It's not chaos yet, but it's change. Slow, deliberate, historic. For decades, the dollar's strength came from one promise: stability. Now inflation, debt ceilings, and political deadlocks have turned that promise into a question mark. Trillions of dollars are printed to keep economies alive. But every new dollar weakens the old ones. The system is starting to wobble under its own weight. And then enters Bitcoin. Imagine money that no one can print, freeze, or inflate. Money that lives on a public network, visible to all, owned by none. That was the dream of Bitcoin. When it appeared in 2009, the world laughed. A currency with no government? No central bank? It sounded like science fiction, or worse, a scam. But slowly, something began to shift. In countries with collapsing economies, Venezuela, Argentina, Turkey, Bitcoin became not a toy, but a lifeline. When your currency loses value overnight, when banks close, when your savings vanish, Bitcoin looks less like a gamble and more like escape. And that's the threat. Not to people, but to the system. Governments don't like losing control. And Bitcoin is control's worst nightmare. They tried ignoring it. That didn't work. They tried banning it. That didn't work either. So now they're trying to copy it. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Digital money, yes, but under full government supervision. It's like saying, we love freedom, as long as it's monitored. The irony is poetic. The same technology that was built to decentralize money is now being used to tighten control. So now, the world stands at a crossroads. Will digital money mean freedom or surveillance? Bitcoin isn't just technology, it's ideology. It's a direct challenge to how money has always worked. For centuries, money was built on trust in an authority, a king, a bank, a government. Bitcoin flipped that on its head. It said, don't trust people, trust math. The blockchain, a global, transparent ledger that records every transaction, became the new referee. No corruption, no printing presses, just code. But here's the catch. Math doesn't fix human nature. Greed, speculation, and manipulation didn't vanish. They moved to new platforms, exchanges, NFTs, meme coins. The dream of financial freedom became tangled with the chaos of digital greed. Now we have two worlds. One, the old system, central banks, fiat currencies, regulation, and stability, at least on the surface. The other, the new frontier, blockchain, decentralization, anonymity, and risk, lots of it. For some, Bitcoin is salvation, a rebellion against the broken system. For others, it's a digital cult driven by hype and speculation. And both might be right. Because Bitcoin doesn't need everyone to believe. It just needs enough people to believe. Money, after all, has always been a story we agree to tell. Let's be clear. Bitcoin has flaws. Big ones. It's slow compared to modern payment systems. It consumes massive energy. Its price swings like a roller coaster. And governments still control the on-ramps, the banks and exchanges where you buy and sell. If tomorrow regulators banned crypto exchanges, 90% of users would be frozen out overnight. So can Bitcoin really replace the dollar? Not yet. Maybe not ever. But maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe Bitcoin isn't the replacement for the dollar. Maybe it's the mirror, showing us everything broken about our current system. It reminds us that our money isn't backed by gold or silver anymore, just promises. That central banks can create trillions with a click. That your savings can vanish in a single policy meeting. Bitcoin doesn't have to destroy the dollar. It just has to prove there's another way. And once that idea exists, it can't be unlearned. Today, the global economy feels like a tug of war between two forces. Centralized trust, governments, banks, institutions. Decentralized trust, blockchains, algorithms, communities. Each side has strengths. Each side has dangers. The next decade will decide which idea wins. Will nations adopt digital currencies of their own? Will people choose privacy or convenience? Will we have a world of one global coin or 1,000 fragmented ones? We're watching a financial evolution, maybe even a revolution, in real time. So is Bitcoin the future of money? Or just another step in our endless experiment with value? Maybe Bitcoin won't replace the dollar, but it might replace the idea that money must come from someone in charge. And that's what terrifies the system. Because power doesn't die easily. It mutates, adapts, and fights to survive. But so does innovation. The world doesn't change when a law is passed. It changes when people stop believing in the old story and start writing a new one. So, the real question isn't about Bitcoin. It's about belief. What do you believe money should be? A tool of control or a technology of freedom? The answer might define the next century. Don't forget to share this video and subscribe to the Unscripted show, where we decode the world's biggest mysteries, one unscripted story at a time.